as a training program. Okay, so in here online it is very difficult to impart this skill, but I'm just trying to put my views in the area of food processing. So if you come, hands-on training is required for this kind of program, I feel, but still, since it is online, I'll just tell my ideas about the food processing. So before we just go for processing, I just want to clear few things here. There is something called value addition and processing. So value addition is just, there are two things. One is value addition. Value addition is just nothing but you are just washing the fruits and vegetables and grading and packaging and selling it so that we can increase the value of the commodity. For example, if you harvest the mango, if you sell whole lot of mangoes, you will not get good price. So same thing, if you wash it, if you wash it and grade it in appropriate size and put it in a unique package of 2 kg or 5 kg, ripen it and sell it, it fetches a good price. That is called as value addition, where you are not changing the form of the commodity into juice or something like that. Okay, by doing simple things, we can increase the value. Nowadays, the government of India is talking about doubling of farming income. But by doing the value addition processing, we can increase by 3-folds or 4-folds about the farm income, not just mere selling, by adding value to it. And processing is something like we change the form of the produce, either to juice or jam, jelly, nectar, marmalades. There are many kinds of products where we change the form, and that is allowed us to keep it for a long period of time. I think all of you know the fruits and vegetables are not available throughout the year. Okay, they are very seasonal in nature. They will be available 1 month or 2 months. Within that period, the production happens in a large scale, but we are not able to do the processing because of lack of infrastructure. Okay, so with this background, I just want you to introduce, and also the food reaches the consumer when the farmers grow the produce, the horticulture produce. It reaches the produce in 2 forms. One is fresh form. The farmer produces the mango or any fruit, jamun, jackfruit like that, and it directly reaches the consumer in fresh form. Okay. So next is it also reaches in processed form. So okay, after like making up with juices, jam, jelly, marmalades, such products where we can store, and those products are available in the off season also. The fresh produce available only in that season, but the processed products available throughout the year. Now also you can bring the mango juice, though the season is not there. So that is a kind of the processing. And also there are 2 ways where our food gets spoils. One is by microorganisms, not just when you harvest the commodities, and we cannot keep it for a long period of time. It spoils, okay, or any food. It is because of 2 reasons. One is the microorganisms, because the microorganisms, the climate means the environment is very congenial to grow and spoil the food. The second thing is the lot of biochemical changes happens within the food. So that is also a reason why our food gets spoiled. When you harvest the mango, it will be well ripened, firm stage. When you leave 2-3 days, it becomes soft and also produces off flavor. It is because of a lot of changes happens within the fruit. So with this background, so total Indian horticulture scenario. So India is the second largest producer of horticultural crop. I think you are all well aware, and China stands first. And we produce a lot of fruits and vegetables in our country. And just imagine, see, 18% of area in horticulture, which contributes to 33% of gross value added in agriculture, because the contribution of horticulture to agriculture GDP is almost 33%, which is very high. And also the production, if you look into the production, the last year, it is about 331.505 million metric tons, with an area of 27.59 million hectares. And when you see, and when you produce so much quantity, and we are number 2 in the world, but if you see the export value, the export percentage, which is very, very less, 1.7% in case of vegetables, and 0.5% of fruits in case of fruits, because in India we have domestic consumption, we have a lot of population. to consume, and also the quality standards which are prescribed by other countries, especially the Western countries, are not matching with our communities because of the lack of awareness about the production of different crops. Especially the problems happens with aflatoxins and also contaminations. And in case of mango, the fruit borer, the fruit flies, and these kinds of issues are coming, and the residues, especially we spray a lot of chemicals into the fruit production, and that comes in the way of the export. That's the reason why the figures are very low with respect to the export earning. And also the next factor, which is the post-harvest losses in fruits and vegetables, which is very high. We produce, if you just think, if you produce 100 tons, almost 44 tons, maximum 44 tons are wasted because of the lack of infrastructure in post-harvest, lack of cold storage, and also lack of infra for processing of fruits and vegetables. See, for example, in Kolar, in Karnataka, in Kolar, we produce a lot of the mangoes and tomatoes, but we don't have facilities, the major facilities which can convert the tomatoes, fresh tomatoes, into processed forms. So similarly in other areas, it is we have, but it is the capacity is not matching the production. That's what I'm going to say. And these horticulture commodities are highly perishable in nature. We cannot keep it for a long period of time. And our exports to other countries, which is 9,941 crores, and we import more than what we export. Though we produce very high quantity of fruits and vegetables, but we also import other exotic fruits and vegetables, which amounting to 15,700 crores, which is surpassing the export figure. And if you see the India's position in the global level, and we are number one in the production of the mango, papaya, okra, and the ginger, pomegranate, and banana, and stands second in the production of various vegetables like cauliflower, the cabbage, tomato, onions, etc. And if you see the processing scenario, the how much we produce and how much we process, which is very less, 3%. This is less than 3%, which is very less as compared to other benchmark countries like China and Brazil, which Brazil process up to 70% of the produce, and China process about 23% of the produce, which is the Indian figure is very less because of the various reasons. Nowadays, the scenario is increasing, the production and the processing scenario is increasing, but still it is not lacking because we produce so much. And the farm mechanization, because nowadays the labor availability is less and scarce, and they're also becoming costly, and as in case of Western countries. And the farm mechanization is very much important. So our farm mechanization is less than 50 as compared to the 90% in the developed countries. And the India's share in global export, which is pomegranate 7%, 6% in mango, 4% in grapes and banana, because though we produce the highest banana, but our export of bananas to other countries is very less. And our major exporting destinations are Netherlands. We export grapes and pomegranates to Netherlands, banana majorly to Middle East countries, banana and mangoes, and citrus fruits majorly to Bangladesh. But we never means our export to Western countries is very less, though there is very high demand for the Indian products there because of not matching the quality standards as prescribed by different countries. And the projected scenario 2030, and the population is increasing. The population of India will going to touch 1.5 billion. And the demand, as the population increases, demand for the fresh commodities like fruits and vegetables also will increase to 300 million tons and shortfall of 50 million tons. So it encourages to produce more of fruits and vegetables because the demand is very high. And with respect to fruit processing, so there will be demand for 2 times. So at the current levels of 22.09 million metric tons. Okay, these are some of the figures to understand the importance of the processing in India. We have a lot of scope for processing in India because we have availability of huge quantity of raw materials, which is very much required for the processing. So fruits and vegetable processing offers good opportunities for small scale business in India because we have raw materials which are readily available. You see, in case of Kolar, we have readily available the tomatoes all the time and mango during the season. And Sinwa means in Ramnagar, we produce a lot of mangoes. And particular pockets, we produce a lot of fruits and also onions in districts of the Dharwad, Belgaum, that side. We produce a lot of commodities like this, and raw materials are available. We are not converting raw materials into processed form. That is the problem. And the most equipment is reasonably affordable. And the processing equipments, don't think that it has to be processed by the huge companies with a lot of investment. It is not like that. With simple affordable instruments or the equipments, we can start the processing industry. Say, for example, the chips making, which it doesn't require higher higher investment. Okay, and the powder making and the dryers, the simple machines with less cost, we can set up a processing machinery. The products, if chosen correctly, have good demand and can be profitable. See, for example, we have the opportunity to produce a lot of pickles, chutneys, which are very much Indian origin and have a lot of demand in abroad. So the particular and traditional foods we have that can be developed and can be exported or can be sold domestically also and have a lot of demand. And these are the drivers for food processing. So increasing spending on food products. Nowadays, you can see the people are spending a lot money on the food product, buying food products, especially the packaged food products. So that is also encouraging us to process more. And also increasing urbanization, lifestyle, and aspirations. Nowadays, mostly people are migrating to metro cities or B cities or C cities for the want of job and to settle there. So this also increased the demand for processed products and growth of organized retail. Nowadays, you can see even C cities and B cities, like district places and taluka places where we have Reliance stores, Reliance Fresh Market and the more markets. So these retails are also encouraging the processed products for the sale. And also demand for functional foods and nutraceuticals is increasing. This is a new category of foods which are coming up nowadays. The functional foods. The functional foods are the foods which provide an extra nutrients which fights or prevents the diseases. The nutraceuticals, we extract some compounds and make into tablets or syrup and develop as a nutraceuticals, which are with the market for these also increasing. So it gives a lot of the research and also the importance for the processing of foods into these kinds of foods and market in our market. And processing of fruits and vegetables is intended to do two things. One is to preserve them by slowing down the natural process. So just exposing the fresh produce to UV treatments, we can increase the shelf life. Just killing the microorganisms and also destabilizing or inactivating the enzymes which are present in the food by the heat treatment of just mango. You dip it in 55 degrees Celsius for 10 minutes. It can increase the shelf life. So we can delay the process of contamination, degradation, and increase the shelf life. And the next one is to change them into different foods which are attractive and in demand by the consumers. So nowadays, the consumers want the different kinds of food. They don't want mango, but they want the mango fruit bar. Okay, these kinds of products. And the processors should use their skills to develop attractive recipes and make products that consumers want to eat. Some of the recipes nowadays, earlier used to see a lot of our ancestors or our mothers are preparing a lot of pickles, the papads at their home in the home scale. Nowadays, they're not much into production because it is available in the market readily. So we don't want to spend time and energy by making them, but we are buying from the market at high prices. So nowadays, a lot of demand for this kind of foods which are indigenous and prepared by the farmer or the individuals or FPOs or any such organizations. So by doing this successfully, they can increase the sales and earn an income. I know many people have supporting many entrepreneurs and also FPOs who are doing the processing and selling. They're finding their own market and selling in the metro cities and different customers, even abroad customers also buying their products, indigenous products from them, and also their courier, and they market through WhatsApp, they market through Facebook. These kinds of activities are nowadays growing. And to be profitable, small scale industries, it is essential to have good quality products. The quality is the main criteria. Without quality, the people will not buy your product. And also attractive packaging. Attractive packaging is also more important because you can see the branding and packaging by the multinational companies. Because of the attractive packaging, people are inclined to buy those products because of the packaging. And a well-managed business means if some customers want your products at any point of a time, even in long distance, you should manage to send in your product at time he requires. So that is a well-managed business. So the pricing, all those things should be proper. And also whatever the products you produce, you should be safe to the consumer. Means they should not have any bacteria, any microorganisms, any contaminations like foreign objects like the airs, whatever it is. And also the chemical contaminations because we grow them in an environment where they can accumulate a lot of chemicals. So it should be free from all these hazards, and the quality should be good, and the attractive packaging and well-managed business, which will take the business enterprise into many folds. And to successfully compete, a business should everything it can to make products at competitive prices. And if you're doing all those things, we should also keep the price at relatively low because our Indian consumers are really price conscious. And if the same product is available at less price, they'll go with there. So if you have your product should be unique, but available at competitive price, and develop new ones that they are different to those of competitors. If doing the same products which are done by your competitors of no use, you have to research the available raw materials, see that how you can make something new out of the same raw materials so that it can attract the consumers and also give a lot of competition for the other competitors in the same place. So nowadays I just learn because the people like from Amla, they are making the halwa, these kinds of products which are different and unique by the same entrepreneur. So these products which are unique and different from the others will make a lot of edge for the business. And the ideal location for processing industries, we should see, we cannot establish the factory anywhere you want it. First of all, the most important is the availability of raw materials at quality raw materials at a cheap price, at the best price available. You can see like nowadays, the many industries are established during the production centers where like in Kolar, the tomato processing, the mango processing, in Ramnagar, the mango processing, in Arsekere, Assam districts, Tumkur districts, where they produce a lot of coconut. It makes sense to start an industry of coconut in those places, not in Bangalore or different places where it is not available. Okay, and also availability of labor, because it is a labor-intensive activity. The labor should be available throughout the year at best or cheap prices, and it requires investment in working capital as well as buying the machineries and the land and the building. All these things require small capital, depending on the scale, and capital can be adjusted. And nowadays, a lot of our government is floated a lot of subsidies and schemes which can encourage the processing industries, and also the market. See, the market is in these cities, but the production should happen in the villages. So that is the thing. So otherwise, the market is not much in the villages. It is more in the metro cities. The people staying in metros, like in large apartments. So these places where you find your market, to find the market for your products. And the transportation, you have to take care. And the availability of the land, which is very less and also costly in cities, where you can get at best price in the small cities where we can establish the industry. And the availability of quality electricity is also more important, because many machines will run on the power. The continuous supply of power is also very much important to have the business. And the basic design of the fruits and vegetable processing. So when you construct your house, you see the vastu. Why vastu is required? To make your living comfortable there by keeping the bedroom, bathroom, and hall, etc., like in proper place. Similarly, in processing unit, you also see. So once if the raw materials enters, you should go out with the product. Okay, you should have the proper facilities for storing the raw materials, because you buy a lot of raw materials and keep it. The proper storage is required depending upon the temperature requirement of the commodities. Because if you buy the tomato and you cannot keep it outside, you should require The cold storage to keep the tomatoes or any perishable commodities, especially the leaf vegetables, other vegetables, it requires the cold storage. And also it requires washing area where you bring it outside. It requires thorough washing to clean the dirt and also the chemicals which are adhering to the surface of the commodities. And also it requires cutting, sorting, and processing area where you process a different technology, whether if you take up drying or making into beverage or different technologies where different instruments are housed there. And also after processing, it requires packaging, and also you can store the product. And this is the office or testing area. And you can also have the quality control where you can test minimum samples with minimum parameters. So these are the kind of, you can see the proper direction of flow of the raw materials to the finished products. So there should be proper organization within the factory. Otherwise, what happens if it is not proper, it demands more labor and also gives a lot of contamination to the produce. So there's a basic thing. It must be followed in, suppose if you have a small room where you set up the processing area, it should have a proper flow of the raw materials and the finished products. Otherwise, there should not be any crisscross. The finished product should not come in touch with the raw materials because of the it makes the contamination. So these are the points we need to keep it in mind doing the design of the processing small area. You can design yourself so that you can reduce the price. And some of the facilities required in the processing area, a changing room. I told about the food safety. Food safety, not only the microbiological or chemical, but also what we do. See, for example, we prepare the food in our homes by the mother or somebody. So there are only a few people, 3 people or 4 people or 10 people maximum eat that food, which is prepared by 1 person or 2 people. Even if you find something like, hairs, sometimes we find hairs or staple film in our food while we eating. We don't really bother because it is prepared by the family member. Suppose the same thing happens, you are sitting in the cafeteria or canteen or hotel, and if you get air in that particular food, you never keep quiet, you complain. And in other countries, they go for claim, they go to the court and get the compensation done. Or suppose if you're drinking the Maaza or any juice, you find something which is not desirable in the product, you complain. That makes an issue. So nowadays you can see last a few years back or some time back, you find that Nestle products like Maggi, there's a lot of the MSG, which is a chemical. So they have banned, means they have taken out the product from the market, which is for sale. Okay, those kind of issues also might happen. To avoid all those issues, we should have the separate some minimum hygiene should be maintained in the process while doing the processing. Like toilets should be separated from the processing areas room, and protective apron should be worn while doing the preparation of the food at home. We don't wear the aprons, but when you are processing and the food is intended for distribution and sale, you should have the proper techniques to control to maintain the hygiene of the production. And the coats washed regularly, hats, air nets, and if necessary, gloves and shoes also should be worn to reduce the contaminations. And cleaning chemicals stored away from the processing room, and also clean the processing room, toilets, washing facilities, and use the correct chemicals to clean the equipments. And make sure all cleaning cloths are washed and boiled each day, and do not leave dirty equipment until the end of the day before cleaning it. So every day you should clean at the end of the day, you should clean the equipments. Otherwise, if you leave the food there, it can get contamination. So next batch you are doing the processing, it also get contamination. So in that way, you should maintain the hygiene and keep the area around the processing room clean and tidy. And the ways of working, put all the waste into bins and do not wear clothing or jewelry, especially when you enter the processing area. If you have visited the big processing factories, they will ask you to remove the jewelry or the wristwatch, and also ask you to wear the apron and also the hand gloves and head net, because they're trying to minimize the contamination from the visitors in their food. So appropriate clothing and ways of working, you can reduce the contaminations. And do not smoke. And if you smoke during the production, the odor uptake also can happen. And wash hands, rinse thoroughly with soap water. And also do not cough or sneeze over the food. And we have the bad habit of sneezing and coughing and talking in front of the food, which makes the food contamination, because the microorganisms are present everywhere. They are present in the air, they're present in our mouth. When you spit, when you talk more.
ఆగు అవి కొంచెం వాష్ చేయాలంట ఆగు 2 సేపు చేద్దాం.
Sorry. And keep all food, tools and equipment off the floor, and keep ingredients in sealed containers, and do not broken and dirty equipment and report any signs of insects. And also the production planning. When you're doing the small scale processing, the production planning is very much important. Can somebody mute the participant? Okay, thank you. And during the planning is very much important, because when you buy a raw material, you cannot buy more and keep it for a long period of time, because it gets spoiled, and they require the energy cost to store that product. It adds to the cost. So you should always think about reducing the price in every stage possible, so that you can keep the finished product price at lower level. Otherwise, the production cost is more, and you cannot keep the finished product at low cost. So proper planning in this regard is required. The amount of less perishable ingredients, apart from fruits and vegetables which are perishable, we also require other raw materials like sugar, salt, spices, etc. And also packaging materials is also raw materials. Okay, that are stored as stock, depends on the number of factors. A large amount of stock ties up cash while it is waiting to be used. So if you're buying too much of sugar, too much of raw materials or packaging materials, we're simply investing more on them. So you buy whenever it is required. Some stock deteriorates over time, and money is also lost due to the spoilage, especially the fruits and vegetables. You cannot buy the more fruits that you can have the capacity to process it. Otherwise, they spoil and you lose the money. And if processors buy smaller quantities more often, this is more expensive. Suppose if you buy 1 kg sugar, 2 kg sugar, it will be costly, prove to be costly, rather than buying 1 quintal of sugar you buy at less price. This all makes a lot of difference in the finished product pricing. And the careful production planning is required, and the number of workers required and their different jobs. So how many workers, how many laborers you should employ, so that you can use them effectively. You cannot employ more people, because the cost will increase. And also equipment needed to achieve the planned production level. I've seen many people who have bought the equipment which are not necessarily can be used or may not be useful in that particular activity. So you should avoid the unnecessary investment on the equipment. You buy appropriate equipment which is required for processing of your product. Don't buy unnecessary equipment, otherwise it will be costly. And the weights of raw materials and ingredients to be bought, and how much raw materials, how much in a day I'm processing, and how much ingredients I have to bring. All these things, proper planning should happen. And also number of packages, how many packages are required, and also it can identify some of the bottlenecks in the process. And the production can be planned using some calculations you have to make. See, for everything we make calculations. Suppose if you want to spend for some marriage functions, we make all the budgeting. So here also in the processing, we have to make some budget. The information required to do this includes how much product, like how much kg, or suppose if you are dehydrating it, you are making the turmeric into turmeric powder. How many kgs of turmeric you can process? See, for example, if you are making the juice, how many liters of the mango juice or jamun juice or karanda juice you are processing in a day, which is sold and not made in each month. So how many sell these products not made? Something we make more and we cannot able to sell it. That is a loss. So how many hours are worked per day? How many hours we need to engage the labor is also important, because that also adds to the cost. And how many days are worked per month? In a month, how many days you are out of 30 days, how many days you are planning to work and process the products. So these simple calculations you have to do. And I'll just explain about the daily production rate, which is very important to know the daily production rate. You can plan for the purchase of raw materials based on daily production rate, how it can be calculated. So it can be calculated using a small formula, simple formula. The production rate, which is either kg, if you're producing the solids, or suppose if you're producing liquids like juice or other ingredients, you can have it liters. The amount of product sold, not made, you just underline here, the amount of product sold per month, either kg, if it's a solid, and if it's a liquid in liters, and number of days of production per month, how many days you are engaging in the processing. So this figure is used to decide how much raw materials or ingredients or the packaging you are going to buy it. See, for example, the production rate, it is about, suppose if you are processing about 5,000 kg of the turmeric powder, for example, and you are working for 25 days in a month, not 31 days or 30 days. So you'll be producing around 200 kg of turmeric powder per day, okay, for which you have to plan for buying the turmeric, fresh turmeric outside. So calculate the DPR, that is daily production rate, as accurately as possible, taking into account of power fluctuations and labor availability. You cannot, sometimes there will be long holidays, so labor is not be available, and the raw materials that you buy will be deteriorated. That's also there. So you have to plan this very well, how much you are going to produce in each day or in a month, so that we can invest on buying the raw materials. Okay, I think hope you're really understanding it. And raw materials and ingredients. So raw materials that we use depends upon the recipe of the product. So we can make the mango or jackfruit jam or jackfruit jelly or jackfruit juice. So different kinds of products. So this, for example, the mango chutney we can make with different recipe. We have proper recipe for making the papaya chutney, mango chutney, or any other on tomato chutney, etc. See, for example, if you use 500 gram of mango for recipe and you require a sugar of 300 gram, other ingredients like ginger, mustard, chili, garlic, and salt you require to make a chutney, mango chutney out of mango, raw mangoes. See, for example, so how much you require to make it 50 kg of the product. So you have to calculate. See, for example, the 500 gram divided by 803, because when you see the recipe divided by and you multiply by 50, that gives the how much mango pulp you require to make 50 kg of the mango chutney. It is not 50 kg you require to make 50 kg of mango chutney, but you require 31.1 kg of raw mango pulp to make 50 kg of chutney, because other ingredients like sugar is also there. You require about 18.7 kg of sugar to produce 50 kg of mango chutney. This planning is very much important. It also depends upon what product you make it. Suppose if you are going for dehydration, drying and dehydration, where you remove the moisture, so you have to bring more amount of raw materials to make the finished product, because you are removing the moisture there. Okay, so these kinds you have to take into account. It is how much quantity of raw materials you buy. It depends upon the recipe, how much quantity you are going to use it to make your product. Okay, so you make it convenient like 50 kg or 100 kg, so that you can estimate how much you have to bring the raw material, which is also, this calculation is very much important. Otherwise, if you bring more and you cannot store it, it is loss, and the loss has to be recovered. How? But you have to increase the price of the finished product. That is not possible because the computation. So all these things are interlinked. And the yield calculation, suppose if you buy the mango or pineapple, the whole 1 kg of pineapple will not be used for making the product. You see, there will be a lot of wastage. So sometimes in pineapple, there will be 50% wastage. Again, depending upon the fruits and vegetables, the wastage percentage differs. So how you calculate the yield? Okay, the weight of raw materials actually used in the process, and the weight of raw materials that is bought, how much you bring and how much you use into 100 gives the yield percentage. Okay. See, for example, I've given here. Suppose if you actually use this 50 kg and you buy 100 kg into 100 gives 50%. Only you use 50% of the raw materials that you bought in weight. Suppose if you bought 100 kg of the pineapple, your pulp availability is only 50%. Okay, that is the thing. And the cost of raw materials depends upon the yield, how much yield you are getting it. Okay. For example, if you bought 1 kg pineapple at 100 rupees kg, and your product in usage it will be 200 rupees because there is a lot of wastage will be there, 50% wastage will be there. So raw material cost will always increase because of the wastage. I think you got my point. In tomato, it is a different percentage. Around 25% in case of tomato, you remove the seeds, you remove the peel, etc. So cost of the product depends upon the yield, how much you are going to get, the actual yield of the product. Okay. And these are the figures of different fruits and vegetables, the preparation. Like apples, I don't think we process apple because it is not available plenty in South India. And apricot is also not available. Bananas, yes. And there will be 40% losses because a lot of things goes as a peel. Peel, we don't use it, we throw it. And only pulp, it is about 60%. The cabbage, around 30% wastage. And likewise, different products, different fruits, different percentage waste because the peel will be there, seeds will be there, and also some unwanted things will be there. So that has to be removed before the processing. So actually, you buy the pineapple with the crown and everything, with the skin and the core, but you remove it during the processing. That also increase the cost of the raw materials or actual product that you use it. Okay. So, and also the stages, different stages also we lose the raw material. Washing fruits, we lose approximately 5% losses, sorting, peeling, and these activities also makes the loss in the process. And the calculating the weight. Okay, when you dry, I think all of you know what is drying and dehydration. In drying and dehydration, simply we remove the moisture. See, for example, the fruits like tomato, we make tomato into tomato slices, onion into onion slices or powder, where we remove the moisture. The tomatoes, example, they contain around 85-90% moisture. We remove the 90% moisture and we get only 10% of the product. Okay. So similarly, we remove the moisture because the fruits and vegetables are very much rich in moisture. When you remove that, we get actual weight is very, very less. See, for example, in resin making, grapes. Suppose if you dry 100 kg of grapes, we get around 22 kg of resins. Remaining where? Remaining is lost because of the moisture is evaporated from during the production. See, for example, I'm taking the example of some fresh fruit, around 15.5 kg fresh fruit. Initially, the fruit contains, you just imagine the fruit contains 75% moisture and 25% solids. So therefore, we remove the, in 50.5 kg of fruit, we remove the moisture of 11.6 kg moisture or water and 3.9 kg of solids when you convert into 25 and 75%. So after drying, the weight of solids will not change, but only the moisture content will be reduced to 8% in case of vegetables or 18% in case of fruits. So therefore, the solids content will become 100 minus 8% because the final product will have 8% moisture. So it will be 92%. When you dry the product, it will have more solids than the water. In the fresh, it will have more water than the solids because we remove the moisture in drying. So if 3.9 kg of solids is 92%, then the total weight of the product is 100 by 92 into some simple calculation. You're going to get around 4.2 kg of finished product. For 15.5 kg fresh produce, you're going to get around 4.2 kg of finished product, dried product. Okay, for example, then therefore, so you get around, you remove around 11.3 kg of water from the product, from the fresh product. And if you take around 200 gram wastage because of the rejection of the dried fruit, you finally get around 4 kg of the product. From the 15.5 kg of fresh produce, you get around 4 kg of the product. Again, depends upon the solid content, how much the fruit or vegetable has a solid content. So ignoring the production cost, the value of the product is therefore the 100 divided by 100 per kg of raw material. See, for example, the cost of raw materials will increase because, so say for example, 1 kg of the produce of 100 rupees kg, and you're going to give 4 kg of the finished product, the cost will become increased because we are concentrating it by removing the moisture. Here, the processing has increased the value of the fruit. See, for example, 1 kg of resin is around 400 rupees, but kg of the fresh grapes is around 40 to 50 rupees. So like that, you increase the value by doing the processing by dehydration. So this is a simple calculation because we remove the moisture and we get less weight in the finished product. So the cost of finished product is also very high. When you compare, when you see, for example, resin, the cost is very high compared to the fresh produce, fresh grapes. And the calculation, it's like for the boiling, we can do the same calculation because in boiling also you remove the moisture and the final solid content matters. And the next aspect is process packaging. And I told about the attractive packaging is required to market your product. The technical requirements of the product, because the dried products require different kinds of packaging, different grades of packaging. And if the product is something liquid, it requires a different thing. Like, and also if it's a pickle, we can pack in pouches or also in glass bottles. So depending upon the products and technical requirement of the product, the packaging can be changed. And also we should take into consideration of the cost of the packaging material. The design and marketing requirements for the design of the even packaging should have attractive packaging. And the cost and availability of different types of packaging also we should give into trust. And how much packaging materials is required, again, depend upon how much you produce daily or how much you produce the finished product every month. You can make the calculation. So you can make the primary packaging and also secondary packaging. Calculation should be done. Accordingly, you buy the packaging materials. Otherwise, it will be investment. This is about the simple information. And also, you require licensing. You cannot simply produce your products and sell in the market. You need to have FSSAI license. And there will be 3 kinds of licensing here. One is registration, state license, and central license. Of course, will not apply for you because when the business exceed 20 crores, then only you require central license. Like Amul, like KMF, they will have central license because their business of operation is more. And for us, for a small scale, just a registration is sufficient. It can happen in 100 rupees price, 100 rupees cost, where the FSSAI has simplified the licensing procedure. You can apply online by submitting the appropriate documents, and you're going to get the license in your hand. And if the business is less than 12 lakhs per annum, you can just go for registration with paying a fee of 100 rupees. And suppose if the business is more, if it is crossing 12 lakh per annum to 20 crore, so that you can obtain the state license. Okay, so it is almost a cost of 5,000 rupees. And central license, we don't really talk because it is a high volume. And your FSSAI license, after you apply, within a month, you're going to get the certificate, FSSAI registration for your business. From that day onwards, you can encourage or you can sell your product by putting the FSSAI license number on your label, on your packaging. So, which is very much important. Otherwise, it is an offense to sell the product without the FSSAI license. So, other licenses are also required to start the business. It requires GST registration because to sell and to market your product, GST has now made compulsory. And also, you require trade license. And the shops and establishment registration. Suppose if you want to put up your stall in some establishment, it requires registration and NOC from the fire department, especially the design of the establishment requires NOC from the fire department. So criteria, eligibility criteria, who will get the license? So dairy unit or any food, not only the fruits and vegetables. Suppose if any other business also required, which is related to the food, the meat processing, then export-oriented unit. So all the business are eligible to take the license from FSSAI. Nowadays, even for registration, like manufacturer, small manufacturer, petty retailer, or any temporary stallholder also can obtain the FSSAI registration. The procurement, handling, and distribution of the 500 liters of milk per day. So it is not higher scale. This also can require the licensing. The slaughtering, like cutting of animals and selling it, the capacity of 2 large animals or 10 small or 50 poultry animals, that capacity, it requires the registration, just a registration. And also we require, the registration is done as a simple process where you can apply online. And where you get the technologies. We need to have technologies to make the products, right? We get various institutions. We have CFTRI at Mysore. You can get the technology. They sell the technology for little amount so that you can start. Suppose if you want to make the fruit leather or fruit ball, you don't know the technology, how to do it. They support. When you approach CFTRI, they'll give the technical know-how and the availability of machineries, how you have to do it. And they also handhold it, how you can really do it. And NIFTEM, it is a central institute promoted by Ministry of Food Processing, which is at Tanjavur and also in Sonepet, Ludhiana. Like these institutes also give a lot of technologies. And also IHR, a lot of technologies are available for sale. And also some of the technologies also available for free to the entrepreneur. Suppose if you're an entrepreneur, want to start an industry, and technologies has to be bought or sourced by this institute. And also here in SAUs, our department also developed a lot of technologies which is available for sale or readily used by the different entrepreneurs. Rather than you make your product, it takes a lot of time for the research and development. So you just source the technology and start your production. It is as simple as that. And some ideas for small and medium scale industries. And some of the technologies I already mentioned, we have developed in our institute, our department. I'll share with you. It's like carbonated beverages. Like we get the Mirinda, Coca-Cola, these drinks without the fruit. But our Prime Minister also emphasized on using of the fruit in carbonated beverages in order to discourage the foreign industries, foreign companies which makes the unhealthy products like cola and Pepsi, cola, etc. So rather than using our indigenous fruit can be used for making into the carbonation or this kind of products. It requires a simple machinery where you can have the carbonated juice of the amla, carbonated juice of kokum, carbonated juice of jamun. So different fruits can be used for preparation of the carbonated beverages. And we developed the technology in our laboratory about how we make kokum. I think all of you are aware the kokum, which grows widely in the Western Ghats, where you can collect and dry it. There is a very good demand because it is very healthy and reduces a lot of prevents a lot of diseases, and also it contains hydroxycitric acid, which is very good antioxidant. Okay, so make into powder, fine powder, boiling in water, and soak overnight so that all the contents will be extracted in water, and you just filter it out, and you can get the kokum, pure kokum extract. You dry the rind, make into powder, soak in hot water at 80 degrees Celsius, and extract it, and you get the extract. And from the extract, we can also use amla and ginger to add nutraceutical products and also to add the taste. So these three ingredients, kokum, amla, and ginger. And with addition of sugar, we can make the syrup, and that can be added in small quantity, about 5%, and you can go for carbonization. And the good quality carbonated beverage is available for drink. So these kind of industries where it is unique because other people are not doing this one, and you can get the opportunity, do this and get your market for your product. Because especially in summer, our people like to have fruit product in carbonation, but we don't get it. When you provide, it gives a lot of importance. And also wood apple, and this is the very minor fruit, not normally grown, but a lot of good health values. So you can make the carbonated beverages out of wood apple also. We developed a technology where you can make carbonation of the wood apple juice. Same wood apple juice and go for carbonation. You can get the carbonated drink ready, which is very healthy and having the fruit. Because in colas, there is no fruit, it contains only flavors and sugars and also coloring agents which are harmful to the health. But here you get good health and also your business can be promoted using this. You have this kind of ideas rather than producing the same pickle, same papad. You can have the unique product, then you can have the market share. And also we developed the fruit bar by fortifying chia seeds. See, chia, which is rich in protein, and the fruit lack protein. We had protein into the fruit to make into fruit bar. Okay, and nowadays a lot of people are growing this jamun. Okay, a lot of people are growing jamun. And sometimes what happens when you have the lot of production and this fruit is highly seasonal in nature, you will not get throughout there. Only 15 days, the fruit comes and goes in the market. Or 15 or 1 month, the fruit will be coming in huge quantity, but it's very delicious fruit and the fruit has got very less shelf life. Not more than 2 days we can store this fruit. So in that we can make opportunity, we can make the pulp and keep it, and whenever you want, you can have the juice also. You can also produce the fruit bar, any other product. You can also produce jam out of this jamun. Okay. Like suppose if you produce the jam out of mango, nobody prefers because it's available by other companies. But when you prepare jam or a beverage from the jamun, which is unique, and the people are there to consume it or buy it. Okay. So this is a small procedure, flow chart, how you make the jamun fruit bar. And a very simple procedure. I'm just going to explain with figures. You require chia seeds. Without chia seeds also you can make it. To increase the functionality, we have added chia seeds, and the sugar is required, and the pectin is required, and little roast the chia seeds, and make the pulp, jamun pulp. Remove the seeds. With the skin, you grind it, make it a pulp, and add this ingredient, sugar and pectin, at 5% sugar and 0.5% pectin, and make into leather. And you can pack it in your own way, and you can sell it. When I told in the previous slide, when you dry it, you're going to lose the moisture and the weight will become reduced, and you can increase the price of this fruit bars. So this is a simple procedure: fruit washing, making into pulp, and filter the pulp, and keep drying the trade dryer, and the fruit bar is ready. Okay, this is a simple procedure. Or we can make the fruit bars in any other fruit, like from mango we can make a fruit bar, and also we can guava, you can make a fruit bar, rather than selling the guava just like that. Because many people, yesterday one person came from the Srinivaspura, where they have 5 tons of mango pulp, raw mango pulp. He came to us yesterday and asked us how we can utilize this kind of this much raw materials into processing. They are going to undertake the training with us, how you make the different products so that we can utilize the product and also you can earn some income out of that. So this is the final look of the fruit bar from the jamun, which is very tasty, very nutritious, and can be sold at higher price for the premium market. So this is the kind of the packaging you can do. So this is the brief about what I'm going to tell today. I think I'm clear to all of you. So all the business will not start very big. The many big business at present have started small. Take for example the Infosys, and take for example the big market, which have started less and small in number and small size, but they have grown up really very well because of the persistency. So don't think that when you start a business in a small room, don't think that it is you're operating a small scale. One day, if you do the business correctly and you maintain the quality and maintain the customers and increase the customers, definitely you're going to make it big someday. So all this planning is very much required, and you should have a contact with the scientists and the researchers, and also to institutes and the financial institutions where you get support from different people to grow your business, which is very, very important. And even the DCR has supported us in making DCCD, Directorate of Cashew and Cocoa Research Station at Cocoa Research. Cochin has supported us giving the financial support to impart training to entrepreneurs on the utilization of cashew apple. Otherwise, the cashew apple, I think some people know it here. The cashew apple is a waste. The people don't use it. But we imported the training on how you use the cashew apple to produce or to prepare the cashew apple jam, cashew apple squash, and RTS, which is very nutritious and very tasty also. So rather than producing the jam from other fruits, which is produced by other multinational companies, you go for this kind of products. There will be customers to buy this kind of the products because it is unique in nature. So that you have to keep in mind. Your product should be unique, should have a good quality, and should be safe, and should have attractive packaging, and we should maintain the business well. These points will make you a good entrepreneur, and we can increase the sale and profit, and you can also grow it. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I think if you have any questions, you can really ask, or if you want to contact me in person, also you can contact. I think you can share my cell number if you want. If somebody wants the information or somebody wants the hands-on training, we are ready to give support those kind of entrepreneurs, because many entrepreneurs, see, for example, one entrepreneur came to us, she wanted to make sambar powder of her own recipe. See, for example, and sambar powder and also herbal tea with using different ingredients. So using 54 ingredients, she developed we supported her in research, and we provided all the equipments to use for her to use. And she comes here with raw materials and process them here and do the packaging and sells to our different institutions. And we are procuring the sambar powder from him for our hostels of all the colleges in UHS Bagalkot. Rather than buying from the different companies, support this enterprise, they will grow someday and they will make it too big, because their taste is different, their taste is unique. And by doing that, our taste is also increased in our hostels, and they also get the business, and the business grows. Okay, this is the simple kind of example I can give. And these promotional activities also makes the entrepreneurs to grow. Okay, with this talk, I'll just hand over to
Yes, sir.
Veena for.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for the in-detail presentation. Yours is almost practical oriented. What are all the problems it will come and how we have to face it, especially those who are very much interested in starting a startup. It is really beneficial. So participants, if you have any doubts, you can ask now. Please raise your queries.
I received a message in the chat box.
Yes, sir. You have received a nice presentation with good.
Okay. Thank you so much for patient hearing, because nowadays a lot of online trainings are happening. It is very difficult to concentrate in the training, particular training. So you people are there, and
sir, actually they are asking your contact details. Can you share it in a chat box, sir?
Yeah,
your contact details, yes, sir. And one lady is also there. She was asking, and I can share to her.
This is my contact number I shared in the chat box. You can note down, and you can visit at any time. You can call me at any time, because we are supporting many entrepreneurs, young entrepreneurs, and also women entrepreneurs, especially. One lady from Assam, she comes here and she takes a lot of advice, and we also supporting in terms of the knowledge and also the marketing, doing marketing for her, like just supporting her, referring our hostels, some customers like that. She's taking a lot of support. And in Kushimela, we have given her stall, and she sold a lot of products of our own. And nowadays we are calling her to give training to our students, because she's doing such a great job and sustaining the whole family out of the income she earned. Okay, and the business is growing really well, and she's doing fantastic. So such ladies, earlier she was nothing. Nowadays she talks so much and received sort of awards, and earning more in this processing. Small scale processing, she does at home, not purchased big machines, not in like that. With her own available instruments or machinery, she is making the powders, especially sambar powder, puliyogre powder, wangibath powder, and masala powders, different masala powders. Very attractive and very tasty. And we also particularly use in our homes. And many of our staffs also buy the products. Many people come to our hostel, taste food, which is fantastic. And people ask why this taste difference? Because we give her contact and she get the orders. So our business is growing every day.
Really, sir, it's really a good thing that you are encouraging the new entrepreneurs and you are promoting them in a very good manner, sir. Participants, if you have any doubts, you can ask or you can contact sir later also. If you are not having any doubts, we will end the session. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for sharing your time. And you have given a very informative lecture, which will be definitely very much useful for the participants as well as to us also. Sir, and one more request, can you please share your write-up for us so that we will prepare one manual and circulate among the participants.
Sure. Can I know the participants' background?
Sir, actually some they have their entrepreneurships, sir, like Prakriti Foods and some Mrs. Anuradha. She is also started from last year. But I think so today she has not joined, or else she could have raised questions. She has many doubts. Like some are planning to start their entrepreneurship, and some are diploma students are there who are doing post-harvest aspects only. So for them, it is really definitely it is beneficial.
So I mean to say it is a very target audience who are really this business.
Yes, sir.
That's very nice to know. And I just give another example. One person from Raichur, he came and he wanted to do something. We referred him to he's doing the processing of wheat into wheat atta.
Oh, okay.
In a large scale, and we are buying from him because he processed in US Bangalore. Rather than buying the atta from ITC, it makes sense to us to buy the atta from him because his business also will grow. And it is a very good chapatis we can make out of this atta, I'm telling you, because he source particular variety, do it more scientifically, and produce atta. So these products are available in our nearby, our vicinity, but we are not encouraging them. That is a problem. So we always go for the bigger brand. So the Ashirwad, ITC. So these products and MTR, they have a lot of money. They will really find the market, but we have to give opportunity for these budding entrepreneurs so that we can encourage their family will be getting livelihood. They'll also be engaged. So small quantity of the produce, which can convert into processed products, the wastage can be reduced. And we also get benefit out of the good and unique products from them.
Yes, sir. Out of preservatives and chemicals.
Yes.
Also. And they need a smart shop.
I'm buying this cereal mix. Genie is there, and a lot of the cereal products from different companies are also there. But I like that cereal mix prepared by her because it is prepared for us, not for someone. So it will be more tasty when the food is prepared for us, like that. Every day, without that, I cannot start the day. That much I am addicted to that kind of the food. And the pickles and the chutney, especially amla chutney, amla pickle, bilimbi pickle, karanda pickle, which are very unique, which is not done by other. That is the recipe for the success. It should be unique.
Yes, sir. Sir, have you tried anything out of cashew apple?
So cashew apple, madam, when in the last 10 years, we have imparted a lot of training to the people. Some people are interested because it is seasonal in nature. Yes. We cannot have only for the cashew apple. Cashew apple, we tried making the jam, which is very beautiful. It's very good in taste, very attractive with natural color. And we have the technology. And also we can produce the splash out of the cashew apple by removing the tannin content. See, for example,
mainly tannin content is the main this one.
Main thing. If you remove that one, it will be very, very tasty and very nutritious also.
And that lady, she has messaged.
And some entrepreneur from Mysore, she started. She is making the product from the Cash App.
Yeah. Here also people are ready to do something out of this Cashew Apple because
Last February, we organized one training where around 75 people from different parts of the states have attended this training, which is funded by again DCCT.
It's very nice, sir. And this lady, that Anuradha, she want to take training from you. She has messaged in chat box. And anyhow, she has got your contact number. Definitely participants will contact you, sir, for further any training or any other information.
No problem. We are here to support them.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing your valuable time and as well as very needful inputs. Thank you so much. Thank you so much from my side as well as from our institute side.
Any one voice feedback from the participant, please?
What's that?
Any one feedback from one participant at least.
Okay.
So
Participants, can you please unmute yourself and give your feedback on this session? Anyone.
That does it. It is great.
And yes, sir. It's good to know actually.
Yes,
Anybody? Anyone? You please unmute yourself and speak about today's session. Anuradha, Sanjeev sir, yes sir, please sir, please speak.
Very nice presentation, madam. It's very helpful to our PMVG groups also. Thanks to Suresh sir. Thanks for your instructions. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. So whenever you require help,
Anuradha, are you there?
you can call me or WhatsApp.
Yeah, yes sir.
So that's it from the.
Okay, sir. Sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you
so much for the invitation, Dr. Veena. So though I was busy, I traveled to Bhopal.
Yeah, you traveled and we have given extra burden to you also.
So I don't want to miss the opportunity to speak to the
entrepreneurs. It was really a good session, sir. It was
Thanks
really
for this opportunity given.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for accepting our invitation and sharing your valuable time. And it's really a very informative lecture, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, participants. And we will meet by 2:30. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you all and wish you all.
So dear participants, we are closing for everyone. So if you can join again afternoon.